Sometimes the biggest changes in our lives don't come from some huge, grand gesture. They come from something really, really small, like a phone number. In this explainer, we're going to see how a few simple digits on a piece of paper can draw a straight line from public policy all the way to personal dignity. And it all starts with one really emotional moment.
So, this is it. This is where the story really kicks off. A torn slip of paper and a reaction that nobody saw coming. So, what is it about this specific number that could possibly hold so much weight? To get that, we need to meet the woman who finally decided to dial it.
All right, let's meet her. Our story is all about a 74-year-old woman named Dorothy Harrison and the quiet, deeply personal struggles she was facing, every single day.
Look, Dorothy knew she had things to take care of, but for 2 whole years, those really crucial appointments, the kind of things that keep you healthy and connected, they just kept getting postponed over and over again. And it wasn't because she didn't want to go, it was because she just didn't have a way to get there.
And when you look at why, you start to see all these invisible hurdles she was facing. Her daughter lived too far away to just pop over. A cab? $60. That was just not gonna happen. And asking the neighbors for a ride? For someone as fiercely independent as Dorothy, that just felt like a massive burden she couldn't put on anyone. Each one seems small, but together, they build a wall.
And that right there, that's really the heart of it all. Dorothy has this, stubborn pride, the good kind, the kind that keeps you going. She would much rather go without than ever feel like she was imposing on someone. Her needs were absolutely there, but she kept them silent.
But then, something changed. A new possibility literally entered her kitchen, and it looked just like that phone number, tacked right onto her refrigerator door. So what is this number? Well, it's the Mobility Management Program out of Missouri. It's a state initiative that was basically designed to solve the exact problems Dorothy was up against. It offers free, reliable rides for seniors, connecting them to the doctor's appointments, the pharmacy, the grocery store, all the things you need to stay healthy and independent. You can just imagine, right? Making that first call had to be the hardest step. She actually apologized 3 times before she even gave her name. But the voice on the other end didn't treat her like a charity case. The response was simple. This is what we're here for. And just like that, the abstract idea of a program became a real car and a real person showing up right at her front door. Okay, so a car shows up at her door. But where did it come from? I mean, this didn't just happen by magic. To get the full picture, we've got to zoom way out from Dorothy's front step and take a look at the state-level decisions that made it all possible. Right, here it is. The number behind the number, $11.7 million. That's how much Missouri put into its transit operating support for 2024. That's a huge investment, and it's what fuels programs just like the one that helped Dorothy. And get this, just look at how massive this shift has been. That 11.7 million, that's a staggering 580% increase in transit funding since just 2021. This wasn't some minor tweak, this was a historic commitment, and it has a direct line to people like Dorothy. And this is where it all clicks, right? You see these two worlds connecting. On one side, you've got the super abstract language of government, budgets, debated line items, big numbers. And on the other, you've got the real, tangible human result. A driver carefully lifting a walker out of the trunk, an appointment finally being kept. This is the moment policy gets real. Okay, so we've seen the big picture. Now let's zoom back in and see how all this policy stuff actually started to ripple through Dorothy's daily life. Not in one big event, but through the quiet, steady power of just having a routine. The impact here wasn't some big, dramatic explosion. It was this quiet, steady build. First, one appointment got kept. Then another. And with that, her blood pressure started to go down. She finally got her eyes tested, and suddenly she could read her own mail without squinting. These are the small wins that, when they pile up, make a life feel whole again. Okay, this might be my favorite part of the whole story. On her 3rd ride, Dorothy shows up with homemade cookies for her driver. It's such a simple thing, but it's so powerful. It's about reciprocity. She wasn't just a person getting help anymore. She was able to give something back. It restored that sense of connection, of dignity. And this really gets to a super important idea, right? This program didn't take away Dorothy's independence. It actually redefined it for her. It shows us that true independence isn't about pretending you never need help. It's about having the access you need to manage your own life, to get where you have to go without feeling like a burden. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, it's about understanding what public policy really truly means on a human level.
So we end up right back where we started, with that little slip of paper on the fridge. But now, it's not a source of worry, is it? It's become a symbol of security. It's a small paper promise tacked up there under a magnet.
And really, who could say it better than Dorothy herself? I'm not asking for handouts. I just needed a little help staying whole. It's such a powerful distinction. This wasn't about getting a freebie. It was about getting the support she needed to keep her life together. And it all lays out like a simple, powerful formula. You can see the whole chain of events right here. It shows how one thing leads directly to the next. When a policy gets funded, a ride can be given. When a ride is given, an appointment gets kept. And when appointments are kept, a life is reclaimed. It's the simple, beautiful math of how good policy is supposed to work. And that just leaves us with one final thought. We are surrounded by numbers, by data, by policies every single day. But a story like this forces us to remember that behind every single one of them, there's a potential human story. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other stories are out there just waiting for the right number to call?